Welcome aboard FreeDive with Seapoint Digital, your go-to podcast for deep dives into the world of digital marketing. I'm Kristy.
And I'm Anna Lynn.
Your hosts navigating through the currents of growth, strategy, and innovation in the digital realm.
We're going to talk. We're going to laugh. It's going to be a good time.
Let's dive in.
Welcome to the FreeDive Podcast. I am your guest host, Anna.
Welcome, Anna.
Welcome, Kristy.
Thank you
for being on the podcast.
Thank you for hosting today.
You're very welcome. I have no clue what I'm doing, so I'm just going to be myself and see what happens.
I love it.
Okay. So it's your 9-year anniversary of doing Matterport.
Yes.
Right? Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll have to do something very special for your 10-year.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so that's really special. How long have you been doing this total? Is it 9 years total, or did you do this before?
Our company's been doing it for 9 years, and we were the first in New England, the first company in New England to be doing Matterport, and we started relatively soon after it launched as a company. I don't remember when it started, but we were the first in this area to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I started with the team maybe a year or two. Math is hard after that. So I've been doing it for maybe close to 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay. So I know nothing about Matterport. Like, the very first time I even heard of it was when I started working here.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? Please fill me in
Yeah, most
on
people
everything
don't.
Matterport.
Most people in my life don't. It's a weird concept. So, yeah. So, what a Matterport is, it's a virtual tour. It's a camera that creates. Matterport is a company, and we are a Matterport service provider. I'm a Matterport technician. So, Matterport's also a camera, and it creates virtual tours. So, it could be of anything. It could be for real estate. It could be for construction. It could be for retail. It could be for hospitality. Anything. This camera creates a virtual experience of the inside of a building, generally.
Okay.
And then it also pulls still photography. It also maps and measures floor plans, like 2-dimensional floor plans or 3-dimensional floor plans for like AutoCAD, that kind of thing.
Very cool.
It does a lot. It's like a little measuring machine in addition to creating these virtual experiences and photography. So it does a lot in one.
Very cool. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
So will it pull like the square footage of a room for you? Wow, that's really cool. That would be very helpful I could see that in retail and construction.
Yep. We often get
not retail.
Well, even for retail, I do get requests for floor plans with the retail jobs that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So is that like the same kind of machine that during the pandemic, the museums were like doing virtual tours?
Yeah.
It's the same.
I did a museum during the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Which museum?
A local one, the Kittery, just this one here in Kittery.
That is so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so you explained to me it's a company. The company is Matterport. Their product is the Matterport camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they make.
Right.
So you're a technician for the Matterport company. Do they have any competitors? Are they the only one that does this?
I don't even know. If there are, they're not anything big. But generally, when people search for virtual tours, Matterport is what comes up. And so that's how people find us. When they Google that, they find Matterport searching for virtual tours. And then they find us in this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, did you mention that you could get referrals from them too? Like people that don't know about you can request from them, like, who's near me that I could use?
Generally, my jobs come in through either directly from Seapoint's website. People search for virtual tours. It comes in through Seapoint. Or at this point, I've been doing it so long, I get referrals from other customers. But like you said, if people search through Matterport directly, and say, hey, I need a technician, Matterport will then be like, okay, someone in your area is here. Contact Seapoint Digital. They'll hook you up. So that's a little bit more rare. People usually just contact us directly, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. You've been doing this a long time. What do you like but also dislike about doing Matterport?
Yeah. It's kind of like the program's kind of like my child. It's like I've been doing it for so long, and it's special to me because it's a very specialized type of photography. Like it's not like being a normal photographer, like just anybody. I've done wedding photography. Being a wedding photographer is like everyone does that. Like it's not super special. This is a very niche type of work. And so to really kind of master these skills and making really fun tours feels extra special. Probably my favorite thing is delivering to my clients and making them happy, because I've had just so many occasions when, because our turnaround is really fast. Like that's like, I pride myself in really fast turnaround, and people are always just super happy with that. They get the tour back within 24 hours, and they're always just like, wow, that is quick turnaround time for photography.
That's amazing.
Especially for a virtual tour and photography. Sometimes they'll pair drone with it, and to get all of that back so quickly, it impresses people. So I get a lot of positive feedback because of that. So I like making people happy because of that. I get to travel to really cool places, so that can be really fun. I meet a lot of cool people doing it. So
nice.
Yeah, it's just a special type of niche work.
Yeah, super unique.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
What about the dislikes? Like anything you're just like, I hate this the most out of all the things I have to do.
Yeah. I think I deal with a level of anxiety about traveling to new places, especially by myself, especially to meet people that I've never met before. I like sometimes I get in the back of I'm an anxious person. So I get in the back of my head sometimes like this could be a trap. Like,
it's a trap.
And I think just thinking about being safe, like I just being lured out into the middle of the woods and no one knows where I am and I have no cell service and like
yeah, I was very much thinking about that when we were preparing for this, because like that was gonna lead me into my next question of like, have you experienced any like challenges as a woman in this field?
Yeah.
But I'm jumping ahead.
So I'll tie those two together. So I will say that those two things tie together. In the beginning, I was not good about, I think there's just a lot of growth as a person. In the beginning, I was not good about like speaking up for myself, about like being, I just feel like younger Kristy was not good about being firm, was not good about creating boundaries. And oftentimes I would get clients that would waste my time. Just for an instance, like I'd get to a job and they wouldn't be ready, or because part of what I have to do is I need everyone to be completely out of a building for me to shoot, because it's the nature of it. It shoots in 360. No one can be in this room.
You don't want it to look like Google Maps where someone's walking their dog
and they
down
don't
the
either.
Street,
Right.
And they don't
the tour,
either.
Yep. So everyone has to get out of here. And in the beginning, I had a hard time being like, get out of here. Like I need to get going. And so, two people would be standing here.
My time is valuable.
They would just be chit-chatting and I would just kind of stand kind of mousy, like waiting for them to go. And over time, I had to learn to just be like, excuse me, you need to leave now. I need to get going.
Right.
And that was really hard for me. And especially just when it came to men. And I got to a certain point where I was like, I don't care. Like you said, my time is valuable. I just learned how to interrupt people and be like, move, like politely, as professionally as I can.
Right.
But I was, contracted for time here. This is my time. Do you want me to do this job or not? Get out of here. So, I got better at that. I have had a super rare over the years, a couple of occasions where I literally did not feel safe around certain people. And those were very few occasions. I never went back to those jobs. And it's just like, that's just being a woman in the world, unfortunately. But, you just learn how to trust your gut in those kind of instances. But it is scary, like being alone in this house or this property with someone that's making you feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't love that. And that could always happen.
That would be scary for me.
That could happen anytime, especially if I'm doing a job that's out kind of in the middle of the woods or something. Like, so, but that's pretty rare. It's pretty rare. I have over time developed enough clients that I know most of my clients really well by now. If I get new ones, like, I try to always let someone know where I'm going. So
that's smart.
Yeah. I've just learned how to deal with it. But yeah, I've just gotten better at being able to communicate with people and reclaim my time. Yeah, I'm reclaiming my time. This is my time. I contracted this time. Being able to just kind of be the boss and be like this. I'm here. I'm doing this. You need to move, whatever.
Yeah, move it or lose it.
Well,
people.
and not just move your body, but like move this thing. And a great example of that is this. I just shot some airplanes, and they literally had to move airplanes where I wanted them to be.
That is so cool.
And, I just had to annoy marshalers to be like, please move this entire airplane from here to there.
Wow.
And, Kristy 5 years ago couldn't have done that. I would have just been like, I guess it's fine where it is. And Kristy now is just like, yeah, you're going to have to move that airplane.
Parallel park this airplane for me.
And now I weirdly get some kind of satisfaction off of that. But they're pleasant about it and cooperative. I could tell they were just like, really, you're going to make me move this airplane twice? But yeah.
I mean, do you want it to be perfect?
Do you want it to be perfect or not?
Right.
Like, do you want me to do this the way that it should be or not? And that's just what I've had to learn. People get over it, but I've had to be better about speaking up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I feel that that's a universally hard thing for us women to do, is to learn to speak up for ourselves and to learn to stop putting up with other people's shenanigans, it's like get out of here, I got to do my job kind of thing. Because I feel like you feel a little bit like you're walking this line of like being bossy equals being the boss of your time equals being a jerk, but it's not. It's like you value your time the way they should value your time for what you're doing. Right.
And I think, unfortunately, it's not the same for men. It's just not. A man in the same position as me would be respected for asking, please move this from here to there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir, right away.
On it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
For little 5 foot tiny Kristy, demanding that, it's just kind of like, wow, you're kind of a little bit of a whatever word.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's unfortunate, but I feel like that comes with almost any job as a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time it is received really well, and I am treated with respect and dignity, but there just have been a few occasions where people don't like me for it, and then they'll get over it. Yeah. And well,
you probably don't want to work with those people again anyway.
Listen,
so
I just
probably
figure
works out.
I'm able to deliver really good results because of, it's, do you want me to sacrifice quality because I'm not able to speak up? I'm not going to do it.
Right.
So
on that note of quality, that reminds me of a question I wanted to ask you about the difference between someone hiring you to come and do their Matterport versus them, doing a Matterport on their phone or buying their own camera and doing it themselves. Like, what's the difference there? Why is it more valuable to call Kristy?
Yeah. So over the years, Matterport's changed a lot. They've changed their cameras. They've changed their services. They've changed the way you can have a membership with them. And, they've upgraded cameras. We went from the Pro 1 to the Pro 2. The Pro 1 didn't do still photos. Pro 2 does. It does I don't remember if the Pro 1 did floor plans or not, but now they have the Pro, I think it's called a Pro 3. I don't know. And they all have benefits and stuff, but to me, the Pro 2 does exactly what it needs to do. But they then started doing things like shoot your own Matterport with your phone. Get a tripod and use your phone and do it yourself. And, to me, I think it's not actually saving people. It's not saving people time and money because you still need a Matterport membership. And that costs, there's monthly fees. We as a company, we pay monthly fees. Like we incur costs being, a Matterport service provider. It costs money to host your tour. And it costs money on the post-production side. Me spending time, creating your tour and creating your stills and that costs my time. So for you to use your phone, which is definitely lesser quality, which is definitely not creating the same, measurements of floor plans. Accuracy is the word I'm looking for.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yep.
It may have a level of convenience for some people, and so that may be worth it. But it is to me, I'm like, it is not more I don't see it being more cost effective to hire me to come out and get your tour back because, I pride myself in fast turnaround time, and not just turnaround time, but people call me and I get them in as fast as I can, sometimes day of. And so it is, to me, I'm just like, I'll get you in as quick as I can. I'll get you your tour back the next day. And it's not super expensive. So you're incurring costs of your time. You're editing yourself. You're paying for Matterport membership. You're paying for Matterport hosting, and you're getting lesser quality. So, to me, that I don't understand that sacrifice.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of someone who doesn't want to hire a wedding photographer and they just want to have their, best friend take pictures with their phone.
Yeah.
Can you do it? Yes, you can do it.
Right.
Is it going to look great? No.
Right.
Or even a scenario with someone building their own website with I don't know, one of those drag and drop website makers themselves, or having a web development team build them a professional site. Yes, you can do it and it will be cheaper, but is it going to look the way you want it? And, probably not.
Right. And those avenues may work for some people, and that's fine. But to me, I don't get the benefit. I don't see it. So I guess people just have to make the decisions they want for their business.
Yeah.
But,
so do you have any particular projects that were your favorite that you really enjoyed?
Yeah. I tend to lean more toward enjoying things like retail and businesses more. I mean, real estate can be fun, and some of my favorite, one client in particular is from Boston, and I've worked with him since the very beginning, and I can just count on him for, him always calling me for jobs. But as far as just enjoying fun, special places, those have always been just really. What's the word I want? Just unique places for me to get. So, for instance, I got to do Jordan's Furniture at the mall, which was extremely intimidating. I had to have a few meetings before I did that one, and it took. We reserved. Man, it was years ago. I think we broke it up into 2 days. And we thought we were going to need 4 days. And, when with retail and businesses, I have to shoot them when stores aren't open because I can't get people in the shots.
I wouldn't have even thought of that.
So anytime I do retail, it's it's got to be before open or after close. And almost every time they want me to do it before open. So in this case.
Early.
In this case, I had to get to the mall at, I think it was 3:30 or 4. It was absurd. And they were all like, you're really going to make us come here. And I'm like, you're making me come here.
Exactly. You chose the time.
So, yeah, a team of us showed up that early. And I was on the clock. I've got to get all this square footage done by the time they open at 9 or whatever. And it was just me and my camera, like moving. And not just moving quickly, but making sure I'm mapping and getting everything.
Yeah, correctly.
Everything.
Mapping
I can't
correctly.
miss a room. And the way, a big old place like that is mapped, I could easily be like, oh, forgot to get that section of this area. You know what I mean? And so it was complicated. I had to, in preparing for it, I had a map of their store and I color coded it. And as I went, I had to like X off, okay, I did this section where the couches are. I did this area with recliners. I did this area with beds. I had to like really follow my own map to make sure I wasn't missing anything. So it was exhausting.
Yeah.
But the hardest part of it was they have an indoor ropes course there. And they have the largest LED screens in North America in there, or at the time that they were the largest. So the camera doesn't like flashing lights and it doesn't like mirrors because it works with GPS. It gets lost. So if it sees itself in a mirror, it's like, I don't know where I am or what's happening. And
it loses its own identity.
It does, because it maps itself by the floors, the walls, and the ceilings, and it goes, okay, I know where I am. And you move it a few feet, and it goes, oh, I know again where I am. And you just keep moving it. But when you put mirrors in the mix, it's like, well, I don't know where I am.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I now had to do this room with the biggest mirrors and LED screens in North America, and with nonstop flashing lights. And and we tried to see if they could get the lights to stop flashing, and they're like, it turns out they don't. There's no way to shut these lights off.
Goodness.
There is no way to shut the lights off. I'm like,
so what do you do in that instance?
I was like, I guess we're just gonna hope for the best. and I did it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was
good for you.
Yes. That was like one of my biggest accomplishments. Like, okay, I guess I can kind of do anything.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
So I have a question about that. So you have your map and you're Xing off your rooms. Like, what would happen if you like forgot this closet in this one room and you've gone all the way and you have to go back and do that one little closet? Like, how do you have to like backtrack, or can you edit it? I have no idea how that works.
Yeah, I could at the time before they did certain upgrades, the camera couldn't put that big of a space into one virtual tour.
Oh, wow,
and so we had broken it up into, I think, 17 different tours, and we had stitched them together because there was just like 17 different departments in the store. So, in whatever tour I would have been in, I would be able to go back and just rescan that area.
Okay.
The camera gets more confused.
So you don't have to like start over from the beginning?
Not necessarily, no. You can go back. The camera doesn't like it. It's kind of like it'll get mad at you. It does misalign sometimes, but So those are the kinds of things that, it seems like a super easy, like anyone could do this. And I think in a way, anyone can learn to do it. But there's so many idiosyncrasies like that it's like doing it a long time. I know how to get past certain just challenges, roadblocks like that.
Hurdles, yeah.
That I'm like, I know why it's misaligning. I know why it's angry. I know how to, get past whatever's wrong here. I know what I can and can't do, how to switch floors, whatever, that someone knew.
Oh, yeah. I never would have thought of that. So, like, your camera is in the same exact place, but on the second floor. How do you
have to do the stairs. So I have to make the camera go upstairs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a moving camera. So I have to set the tripod up on stairs and then make
Do you have to do each stair, or you can
you can skip about every 3 or 4 stairs.
That was going to be my next question, is like, how far can you move it at a time?
Yeah, like it's the closer you do, the better the tour comes out, but it's like 6 to 8 feet.
Okay.
But
so it's not like you have to just like move a foot and then move a foot. You can skip a little bit.
Right. So in a room that is furnished, you can actually go further if you want to, because it is scanning every single piece of furniture, so it knows where it is better. In an empty room, it starts to get lost. So
Okay.
this is another specific thing that we did one time that was super hard, is we measured hallways in a, I think it was a condo building, just the hallways. And when you do a hallway, the camera gets lost easily because everything looks the same. Everything looks the same. And so the camera has QR codes that you can use, and you literally have to tape them on the wall.
Oh, wow.
And keep moving the camera. And then it scans the QR code and it knows where it is, and you keep going. But in the beginning, I didn't know that. And so early on, I was trying to do a big open building where everything looks the same, and it just would not align, and it kept getting lost. And I was just so frustrated, and I didn't know what to do. And so those are the things that I've had to learn along the way to be like, I now know the way around that. Like, so there's just complications like that. That's like, it makes it, you need to have an experienced technician to do it. Because
this is not like a one and done situation. This sounds like very intricate, time consuming process.
Yeah. So
you definitely want a professional for this.
If you want it done right, if you want it done well, and depending on how big, I've done the community center, which was also about 70,000 square feet. I put all of that into one tour.
Wow.
Which was awesome. That was another big one. I got to do Angry Orchards headquarters.
So cool.
Yeah. And that was, we had to go out there for the weekend because that's in New York. So, and that was extremely intimidating. One, I just did not want to mess up and wanted to impress them. I droned the whole property. And again, all of that I had to do before they opened. So I did their cider house, and I did their brewery, and their tree house, and had to drone everything all before they opened in the morning.
Wow.
It's like we were just moving along super fast.
So that makes me think of a question with the drone. So you have your Matterport camera that you're moving around, but then with the drone, how does that connect? How does that go together?
The services?
Yeah, or like just how does that work?
They're
with
not
the drone and the camera.
They're not tied together. Okay. It's just an additional service that oftentimes people want to add on.
So is it more like the drone is for the outside of the property and the camera's for the inside?
Almost always. Okay. The exception to that would be I generally will refuse to fly my drone inside. I don't have enough room. It's not safe. And the exception to that would be there's a hot tub retail that I have done many times, and they are commercial building so big, I can fly the drone inside there. And so I do that. And the purpose is really just capturing video footage, capturing better photos from above, looking down. So, and then the Matterport being outside can really only do like standalone 360 shot or 2D photos.
Oh, okay. I see.
And you can stitch one to the inside tour, but it doesn't do tours out. The Pro 2, the camera I have, does not do tours outside. It needs ceilings and walls to keep moving. Yeah.
So that brings up the ultimate question is that I heard you have named your cameras and your drones.
Yes.
So introduce us.
Okay. Yeah. So the Matterport's name is Foster, and he's named after Fort Foster. We were trying to name everything after like local things to Kittery. Oh, cool. So Fort Foster was a fort that was like a lookout spot here. So we thought, the cameras always looking. It has nine cameras. So we thought that was it just worked, little lookout spot. So his name is Foster. And then the drones, it took forever to figure out what to name them. And now we have too many. But at the time that I named them, we had 3. And there's 3 bridges in Portsmouth Kittery. So I named them after the 3 bridges. So one of them is Sarah for the Sarah Long Bridge. Okay. One of them is Archie for the 295 bridge for it. Looking it up,
sense,
the Great Arch is what it's known for. Very and cute. Then Prescott for the one in Prescott Park. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Love it. I'm glad I'm not the only one that names equipment or items. I've always named my car. I've always named.
I actually don't have a name for my car.
You don't have a name for your car?
No. My friends and sister do. I don't know why. For some reason, that doesn't feel natural to me, which feels stupid to say because I'm a name for the camera. But I think
Cameras
it's
and
more of
drones,
like,
yes. Vehicles, no.
yeah. I don't know. I
No,
think
it's fine.
the Matterport feels part of the team.
Yeah.
He does a
Well,
lot of
they are.
a lot of work.
You couldn't do it without them,
Right.
without
Right.
Foster and your 3 buddies, the drones.
Yes. Yeah.
So, how did you get into this in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, were you already interested in photography,
Mhm.
or it kind of just fell in your lap, or it was something you were pursuing on purpose? Like,
Yeah.
how did you fall into this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we as a company, Bill's decision to get into it was just that finding Matterport, he thought it would be a great service for us to provide as a digital marketing type of tool.
Mhm.
And before I came here, he and Courtney were primarily doing it, and a couple other employees who aren't here anymore. So it's kind of just like whoever went out and was doing it, but no one was really like
There was
the
no like
person.
one dedicated person.
Yeah, no. But once I came, I think Bill was kind of like, you do this. You need a job. You do it.
How Bill famously assigns job roles.
Until it fits.
You do this.
Until it fits.
You do that.
Until it fits.
Yes.
Yeah. And initially I trained with Courtney for a little bit. And initially I was like, going back, I said I was really nervous about traveling to places, unknown places by myself. Like that was really intimidating to me. So I, in the beginning, was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
But Bill's making me do it, and I'm not close enough to Bill yet to tell him no. So I have to do it.
So in that way, I guess it was a good thing.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. And I had done like I said, I had done wedding photography in the past. So as far as photography goes, like it's just a very niche type of photography and different that once I got into it enough and developed like more and more of a relationship with it, I started to enjoy it a lot more. And once I developed a client base, I started to enjoy it a lot more. I got the hang of it and it became more fun. When the pandemic hit, it was like I was just nonstop busy with it.
Wow.
Because during the pandemic, realtors were not allowed to have open houses for a while.
Oh, right.
And so it became a really, really important tool for realtors to be able to have like an online open house.
There you go.
And so I mean, there was weeks where I literally was doing, I think the most I did in one day was I did 4 in a day. And there were weeks that I was just like 3 or 4 days a week. I was out going on Matterports, and I did a lot that year. It was overwhelming, but it was exciting. And I kept thinking like more and more people are, even after the pandemic, like more and more people will see the value in this. And I did get some clients that stuck even after the pandemic. I got some that were like, okay, I don't need to do this anymore.
Right.
But that was a extremely busy year for it. So, yeah.
A good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't miss it, if I'm honest, because it was a lot.
It sounds exhausting.
It was a lot. And, at that time, too, I was having to, wear a mask, and I had to clean the equipment every single time that I'd come back. And, yeah.
So do you have any advice for someone who, like, would want to get into this type of work? Like, what would you tell them?
Becoming a Matterport tech?
Yeah. Like, what advice would you give someone wanting to do that?
So I follow some other Matterport providers on Instagram just because I like to see what they're doing. And, like, there's one in Canada. I think she's in Ontario. I don't know. But she's adorable. She's really cute. She has a really fun business. And I think she primarily just does like I see her do a lot of museums and just businesses. So I don't think she does anything real estate. And I love that for her. Like, I love it for her. So I would say just kind of know your market wherever you are. If there is a big need for it in real estate, market for that. If there's not, then see what there is a market for. Really, really take inventory of what your needs are and what your clients' needs are and work with that. Yeah.
Very good advice.
Yeah.
If you wanted to expand on the airplanes, I was curious, what were you actually Matterporting? Were you Matterporting the inside of the airplanes?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
the hangar? Or like, what was that?
Well, there was conversation about, they were kind of, I went and met with them early on so that they could decide what best fit their needs. The airline is redoing their own online marketing.
Oh,
And so
okay.
they were kind of trying to feel out how best to do that with video and photo and commercials, and would a virtual tour be good? And so we talked a lot about, should we drone? Like, should we Matterport, the hangars, the airplanes or whatever. So they decided to do for now, 2 planes, see how that goes, make decisions moving forward. So we did the inside of 2 planes, which is really exciting for me because I had never gotten to do that yet.
And are they like private planes? These are not like American Airlines jetliners.
Right.
Like it's a small...
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
I love the positivity. Not yet.
Well, I mean, they told me they were so pleased with them that they were like, we're going to refer you to whatever the commercial airline was that they work with. Yeah, so I was really excited about that.
Super exciting.
Yeah, so I was really pleased with how the tours came out, and they were too. But yeah, there was a very specific, different kind of tour.
Yeah,
like getting
so unique. When I saw the video, I was curious if it was because they were trying to sell the planes. Like,
it's just for charters.
Just for the charter planes.
So that if anyone wants to charter them, they can have a real immersive experience of what it would be like to be in that first. I mean, they're spending all that money, so before coming out to see them, they know what it's like inside. Yeah, so there's so many ways to market Matterport. Like I said, like I really enjoy doing it for construction. I really like working with contractors. They're always treat me well and nice to me. Working with one that works right here in our building, Gary DeCoste. I've done projects with him where I've been able to do the building. He does remodels, and so I've done the before, I've done the during, and then I've gotten to do the after, and we can do this like comparison, and that's like so neat to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Things like that.
It's funny that you say working with contractors is your favorite thing, because it's like it goes kind of against what you were saying, like,
I know,
tiny Kristy,
I know,
in this intimidating environment, but I like working with the contractors.
Right.
Like, it's just, it sounds like it shouldn't go together,
right.
But it does. So that's cool.
I think it's because they have this, I get the feeling they have this like work ethic, like contracting. They understand that I've been contracted for a job. Any kind of work, he gets that it's their time to be there, get it done. Yeah. And so as a fellow contractor for this part of the job, they get it. They're like, this is your time, do it.
Yeah, that's nice. I wouldn't have thought of that point in particular, but yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, is that
so
mutual respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Well, and Gary's a sweetheart anyway,
right.
So we just love him because we love him.
Yeah. 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 So I felt like it was good to talk about this for our anniversary just because.
Absolutely. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation because I know like nothing about it, and I would love to talk about it some more as well, because I feel like I can't think of all the questions I want to ask you in this moment, but I feel like there are more questions that I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, and
more
I think that's a good idea because I just realized like all these weeks of having the podcast, I haven't talked about Matterport once, and it's one of the biggest things that I do, services we offer. So I'm like, this is silly.
Let's deep dive into Matterport with the FreeDive Podcast.
Yeah, so we'll definitely talk about it again. So if you would come back and do that again,
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
And we'll have to celebrate on the Matterport anniversary somehow.
Yeah, we'll have to think of what kind of party we're going to have for that.
Yeah.
That'll be epic.
Something, but yeah. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was fun.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
It's the end.
No, it's not. There's more.
There's always more.
Don't be sad. You can catch our full video interviews on our YouTube channel. Come find us.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends so that we're not sad.
And follow us on TikTok.
And Instagram.
It'll make your day happier, promise.
And we'll know if you do it. Until next time.